Hi, I'm Carolyn Donaldson. I'm the program director here at Bradford House. Today I'm going to give you a tour of our program. Hey Stephen, how are you?
Very good.
Hi, Carol.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. So we're just doing a tour of Bradford House. So these guys can see what we do and what the house looks like and the services that Loft is offering.
Okay.
Okay, so later you guys are going to be interviewed if you want.
Oh.
Okay, so I'll just take you through the PSW office. So we offer traditional PSW services to all the folks that live here. That's one of the criteria under assisted living for people to be eligible for the program. And this space is the space that the PSWs work out of. So clients come to the office for behavioral support, problem solving support, mental health support, med support, that kind of thing. And this is the space that the staff work out of. For clients getting services coming in to access the PSWs, they have to line up here. So this space sometimes becomes quite congested, especially at meal and med time. So this is the main floor lounge area. For a lot of our folks, they can't afford, they live on subsidy and fixed income. So people can't necessarily always afford TV and phone. So in our common spaces, we offer that for people who don't have it in their private rooms or shared rooms. As you can tell, as well as we move through the house, the hallways are really narrow. And so under today's standards, the hallways would be much wider. If you try and get two people here with walkers or wheelchairs, congestion does become an issue.
The hallways are not wide enough for a chair to go by and a walker to go by. And even if it was a person, a wheelchair has to get right up against the wall and they have to go sideways. So it's not enough space.
With the current building, the way that it is structured, we can't possibly have everyone eat at the same time. So there are 3 separate dining areas and people have shifts. So some people come early for meals and some people come later in order for us to accommodate all of the wheelchairs and walkers. So that's one of our dining areas. That was a previous bedroom for somebody. So this is our main dining area. And what you will notice here is that the kitchen staff cook and do all meal preparation where our residents eat. That also applies to dishwashing and everything else. So
we have 3 different areas in the kitchen. We cook in the main area with the people all around us, which kind of isn't safe. It would be nice to have one large area and be able to close it off after service, and then could just continue in the kitchen and then have them, they could all still sit around. If it was bigger, it's not even big enough. Some people have to come and like at a second seating, which it's not fair to some of them. If they're running late or whatever, they don't get to be with their friends, they have to wait.
The kitchen could be where the cooks are behind the scene, and then you have a big dining area for the residents, and then a separate part over here for some of the residents that like to eat quietly or even have guests over to eat with them.
Christmas and birthdays, we have to go somewhere else. Christmas in the kitchen, everybody wants to be in the main kitchen area for the person who's singing, for just everything, and they're stuck in the outers because there's no room for them. It's kind of hard for us too, because then we have to keep going out there and they're missing all the fun that's inside. But we try to make it fun the outside too, but it's
Maybe a larger dining room. Sometimes when the dining rooms, everybody sits down for a meal, 1 or 2 people wandering around, they can't find a spot to eat. So maybe a bigger dining room. Maybe 1 or 2 more washrooms.
Okay.
Seems to be people, and sometimes the washroom by the dining room's busy, and people don't know where to go. They're knocking on the door all the time trying to get in. Maybe a couple more washrooms.
Yeah, we only have 1 common washroom. So the washroom is at the back here for the entire house. It's the only common washroom for any visitors. And so clients actually have to go to their room in order to use the washroom, which is an inconvenience if you're watching TV and you live on the 3rd floor.
The actual safety of the kitchen, everything's so old that because this is an old building, we have leaks coming into the kitchen from washrooms, etc. And we've even had a leak in the walk-in kitchen where the food is from the bathroom. So we really need something. It would be nice to have a whole nice new area that we could have, you know, it'd be clean and not worry about all that stuff.
So I'm going to show you the elevator. And somebody just got in the elevator. I can't believe it.
Right now, we are currently in the works of getting a new elevator, so it is bigger and more accessible, because with our elevator right now, it's a service key, so residents do have to wait for staff to come by, access the elevator, and use the key and go up with them. And as assisted supportive living, we want to promote independence, and the big feature with getting the new elevator would be having them be more independent, can frequent the floors as they please, and they don't have to wait for staff to be available for them.
All elevator, well, right now our elevator is staff run. We're getting a new elevator in where clients will be able to operate it themselves, which I find will be easier for the residents and also for the staff, because they're not being pulled away from something that they're doing.
One of the issues with the elevator and the reason for the new build is that EMS can't get into this elevator, and our bariatric clients can't get in the elevator. So somebody who is in a wheelchair, literally if they live on the 2nd floor, have to use the driveway, come all around the building, and come downstairs if they can't fit in the elevator. So come on in, we'll go for a ride. I promise nobody's ever got stuck. So you have to close the door all the way in order for it to operate, and then staff have to put in a key, and we're going to go up to the 2nd floor. One of the things that we've had to do with the build of the new elevator is that we've had to shrink our common spaces. So you'll see a door here that for fire purposes gets closed. And so the lounges have become quite smaller. And with 54 people living here, if we have a social event, a birthday party, a Christmas celebration, not all 54 people will be able to fit in this room.
I think having a common place where everybody could come together instead of like 3 floors worth, if there was one common place.
That'd be good, a bigger room for activities, yes. Because even now when we have activities, we have a lot of people showing up, and it's kind of like, you know, you're touching elbows there because there's not enough room, right?
Definitely more bigger spaces, places for, I guess, residents to meet with their family or friends, another quiet space that way outside of their room, because a lot of the residents are living with another individual. As well, big common spaces for people to either play activities, play bingo, cards, another quiet room that's more accessible, but also can access some privacy if needed.
So this is where we have weekly barbecues where clients come and smoke. So again, from a bylaw perspective, it's not legally within the proper distance from the home, but the fire department has allowed us to designate this a common smoking area. In future developments, some of the wish list is that it be covered, there be a little bit more space. The clients have actually done a visioning board about what they'd like their back space and smoking social area to look like.
Right now it's a community outdoor space, but it would be nice if there was an area for the non-smokers to sit when they go out.
In the winter time, we do have a designated smoking area, one in the 2nd floor and one in the 1st floor. But in the winter time, you know, because of the snow and the fall risk, they will avoid to go there, and basically they don't have the access to go there.
Yes, so having a smoking area for individuals to smoke, and then designated non-smoking area for individuals so they won't be triggered by the smell of smoke.
If we had a nice garden outside with little chairs and picnic tables around, I think the clients would really enjoy that. They do, however, sit outside right now and have mentioned that. And a lot of our clients actually like to do planting And I think if we had planters that were high enough for them to access, they could actually help us in doing so.
Most of the rooms here are shared. We do have some single rooms, but I know that from a client perspective, sharing with somebody who is not, who you don't know, who may be struggling, has been identified as a struggle for people. So in a new build, having single private rooms with barrier-free washrooms and so on would be great.
Sharing the bathroom can be a problem because of my neighbors, and that's a history there.
Main problem we have is the space. We don't have much space to work around, so rooms should be more spacious.
Space is a big thing. Space in the rooms, you know, it's pretty tight inside. What would make my job easier, I should say our job easier, is if we had lifts on the ceiling that actually could transport the client from the wheelchair to bed, and it frees up all the space in their room. Plus, if we have one client that actually mentioned to me a few times that if her dresser was up off the floor, and she would be able to get her own things, so it gives her back her independence to some extent.
If we were to rebuild this facility, I think I would like to see one would be the hallway spaces to be a bit more wider and accessible for individuals. Another would probably be having a more or having another space available for community resources to come in, whether that would be doctors or individuals from Life Labs or any other resources from the community. That way we can also work in partnership with the community that we live in, and that way residents have more access to them.
So I think that is, for the most part, the tour of Bradford House.